Welcome back, Kerbonauts. So we finished our Kerbin 5 mission in the last episode, and when we returned, it gave us about 400 and I think it was 80 science or so, somewhere right around that. So it's quite a bit of science, enough to buy some of the bigger parts that we need. So I'm going to get the heavier rocketry for the simple fact that I want the main cell engine and the Jumbo 64 fuel tank as well. So let's go ahead and research that. What's after that? I don't think we need. This is all some of the super advanced stuff that's part of the asteroid redirection missions, but we're not getting into that just yet. So let's go ahead and grab some other things as well. We'll get the smaller big fuel tanks as well. Let's go ahead and research that, and then we will also research what is some of this other stuff that we can get here. There's bigger parachutes, command pods. What we really need is stuff to help us with our landings on the other planets and moons, but we also need some more science stuff at the same time. So I don't really see much in the way of science that we can grab here. There's a core drill, so we can go ahead and do a core drill, I believe, as well, and that will also give us an RCS tank. Let me make sure there's not something better that we can get here. So we don't care about aircraft stuff right now. None of that's really going to help us either. I don't care about gears. And specialized control. We don't really need that stuff either at the moment. We'll need that eventually when we start building a space station, but not at the moment. Let's go ahead and get the core drill. So now we're down to 86 science, and we can't get anything else with 86 science, so now we are kind of stuck. So let's go ahead and back out of this, and let's go and design our new uh, all-purpose heavy lift rocket. I've done quite a few of these, and it's usually several large orange tanks, and then I do asparagus staging around that as well. So let's go ahead and grab our separators. We'll stack 6 of them on here like that, and then we'll put some more orange tanks on like that, and then 6 more orange tanks on top of this, and there's the tanks. I'm going to grab these and actually going to move them down ever so slightly. If we can get it to set. We may not be able to get this thing to set. Let's move these down a little bit, make this easier on us. And there we go. So we now all have that on there. So let's go ahead and do the fuel ducts also while we're at it. So back that down to 1 at a time. And let's stick the fuel ducts near the top so we can see what's going on a little bit more easily. So there's those ducts, and then we'll do the one from there to there. And then it's just rinse and repeat as you go across. Now we'll also have to add some structural integrity to this thing because it will fly apart without some struts added to it as well. But let's go ahead and get the staging and the engines on first. I'm going to throw the engines on really quick, do the main cell engine, and stick that one right there, and we'll put 6 more of these bad boys underneath like that. So the engines are all set. We're ready to rock and roll there. And there's the bigger booster. We'll put the boosters on in a little bit as well. So combine all these engines in. Let's add a few more stages as well on the bottom right. So the first stage we want to cut is going to be this guy right here, which is that one lighting up. And then his friend on the opposite side. And we need to expand this again. And who is his friend? There he is. So that's the next one to be cut. And then expand it again. And it's this guy this time. So we got 1 more of these to do, and then we'll have the staging done for this. And it's the top guy. So there's the staging. Let's go ahead and we'll name this one. Now we're moving out. Well, let's say we move out of the Craken program. Let's go into the what can we call this? We'll call it the Craken with a C. The Craken one. We'll say that we'll call it the medium lift rocket. So there we go. Let's go ahead and save that since it's kind of like a preliminary design. And then let's see here. What is this bad boy? That's spinning. I don't know why he's spinning. So we got most of the Kethane materials too. We can start doing some Kethane mining very soon. So we are actually going to go ahead and stack on some boosters also. So let's put the new boosters on here. So these boosters right here, I believe, are part of the new asteroid redirection pack. So we'll stack these guys on here, and we need to put all the separators in their own stage, and then put all of the booster engines with the main engines. So we are set to go there. So now we got to add some reinforcement to this. So let's go ahead and add in some struts. Now I've found through playing the game that if you make a X pattern with your struts, that tends to be the strongest pattern or strongest setup for the struts that I have found so far in the game. So if you have a better setup that's actually a little bit stronger than that, feel free to tell me, and I will actually start using that because I'm always looking for better ideas in this game. So we'll go ahead and we'll toss some struts on the back of these bad boys as well. We won't make those X shapes though. And can we get an angle on this guy? There we go. That works, whatever. So then we need to strut everything together on the inside to the main tank as well. So let's go ahead and do that. We need one more set of struts. I believe this should do it. And I think that has got it. I think that is enough to actually hold everything together. So let's go ahead and save this this contraption again. And let's go ahead and add these guys on the outside as well. Let's see, it's going to be setting off the ground, so we're good to go there. Now I don't really have the winglets yet for control purposes, so we can't add those on. What else do we got up here? So let's go to structural. We'll do a stack decoupler. Oh my lord, we don't have a big stack decoupler, do we? We do not have a big one. There's the reaction wheel, mech jub, command pod, and we are kind of limited in what we have here. So we will make do with what we got. I don't have any docking ports yet either, so I can't build a space station just yet, not until I get some docking ports at least. So let's go ahead and add in this decoupler here, since that seems the biggest one that we currently have. Stick it right here in the middle, if I can place it, and bring it up. Right there, that works. So let's go ahead and make sure we put that in the correct stage. So then let's go ahead and we'll do the next stage as well. We don't have the nuclear engine quite yet either. So what is this guy's ISP? That's 370 in vacuum. There was a better one. There's one through 390. So we will use him. And then let's go ahead and toss on some additional fuel. I don't want to toss on that big tank. That's not going to do much for us. So let's actually toss this guy on here. And then we will do some separators as well. So let's do 4 of those separators like that. Let's stick up a little higher. So propulsion, what do we do with our fuel 4 tanks? I don't want to put 6 of them on there for certain. So there's those. And then we need the 4 engines to go on the bottom like that. So we are set to go there. So the 4 engines can go up on top. So we need another stage above this one that does the separation for those 4 stages. So let's grab this guy. There's 3 of them, so we're missing 1 separator. There he is right there. So now the staging is done for this. Let's go ahead and save this ship while we're at it. And then we need to start stacking on some science stuff. So we can't do, like I said, we can't do the science lab just yet because we don't have the docking ports necessary. So instead we'll do a couple of the containers right there like that. Let's we only need 1 for now for the science. Mystery goo, we'll put mystery goo on here as well. Give me 2 pieces of mystery goo. Let's put them on. Let's spin it a little bit like that. And then on the back of this, let's go ahead and we'll stick the magnetometer on the back like that. Let's zoom in a little bit so we can see what we're doing. And then as well, see, there's the thermometer gets put on there. I'm not going to waste time with an antenna. Flight computer, we don't really care about that. So there's the core drill. Let's put the core drill on here. I think that's the way it unfolds. At least I hope it is, because that's what we're going to do. And then the laser goes like that as well. So we're actually stacking a lot of mass on one side of the ship here. So I'm actually going to grab the magnetometer and move to the opposite side and stick the magnetometer right there like that. And I think we are almost done. We need landing legs on here, and we need a battery for certain. Let's stick with the small battery still. Stick the batteries. We don't need 4 batteries for sure, and we don't need 6. So we'll pull it down, and we'll put the batteries right there like that. And then also, what else are we missing? We need solar panels. So let's go ahead and we'll put 4 solar panels on board just to make sure we have enough power. So there's that. So I think we're set to go there. We'll go ahead and stick a couple of lights on as well. So what we'll do, we'll put all the lights right here. Now if you hold shift, you can incrementally adjust these things for different directions as well. So we'll put those lights on like that. So now I got landing lights, and now we need landing legs as well. Where are they? There they are. There's our landing legs. So let's go ahead and stack our 4 landing legs on. There's that. So I think we are more or less set, ready to go. We need to put a new command pod on top. So let's stick this bad boy up there like that. Ooh, that looks kind of cool, doesn't it? Is there anything else we really need? Actually, let's take that off. We'll just do the standard pod for now. And then we need parachutes for certain since we're coming back. At least we hope we're coming back. So the one chute goes on top like that. And then I need the 4 chutes. We'll put the 4 chutes down here. Like right there. Let's move solar panels up slightly. So let's make sure we put all the parachutes in the correct stage as well. So there's that. Main chute goes up there like that. We're missing 1 engine. There it is. To go right there. So I think we are more or less set, and this is going to be the Minmus lander. We're actually going to go and see how easy it is to land on Minmus. We should be able to do it with this ton of fuel that we have underneath of us. And now the reason I set this up because I'm going to use the same stack for the orange tanks to launch our heavier stuff into orbit as well. So I just thought I'd go ahead and finish this off now. So what we will also do is, before I forget, we're going to do kind of an asparagus staging here as well, and pipe all of the fuel into the main tank. If I can get this to work. So go from there. This thing is going to fight me the whole time. So let's see if we can go from here to there. And I think that has it. Yep, that's got it. Cool. We don't need RCS because we're not docking right now, so I'm not going to worry with that. We'll stick a mech jeb on here. I don't think it's going to help us much, but we'll put one on just in case. So there's mech jeb. Are we missing anything at all? I'm not worried about struts for this. What else are we missing? I will strut this thing down like that. So grab that one and strut like that. So there we go. So that's a little more stability on this thing. So let's go ahead and strut this all together like that. So I think we're good to go there. Don't have anything aerodynamic to add. Nothing for utilities really. No, not yet. We got our medium cathane converter unit. We'll do cathane mining here fairly soon. I don't think I've got the drill yet. Yeah, I don't have the cathane drill yet, so can't do that. I think that is all the science that we can put on board right now. So that is good to go. So let's go to the crew menu, and you know, Jebediah was the one to land on mine. So let's actually send Bill to Minmus. So save and launch, and let's hope that we have our staging correct. We will shortly know. So guys, I haven't played the new asteroid redirect mission yet, so I'm kind of excited about getting to that one. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. So let's turn SAS on and lift off, and we are off. Man, this thing is taking off so slow, but it has so much fuel on board as well. So our liquid fuel is actually draining a little bit faster than a solid fuel is right now. So let's throttle down. So you want your solid rockets to run out first. That way you can go ahead and separate them and still be firing with your main engines as well. So I haven't used these boosters yet. This is the new boosters from the asteroid redirect. So we are actually going to see how well they do. Man, you can't see anything right there. That's bright as hell. So the solid fuel is now draining faster than the liquid fuel, so that's good. It's good news right there. Bill's down there, and he's just kind of enjoying the ride. He's not really doing anything. So guys, what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to take this thing on into orbit, and I'm going to get us out to Minmus, and then I'll pick up the recording again once we get to Minmus. So we'll be right back. Welcome back, guys. So we're here at Minmus finally, and we're approaching the burn that's going to put us into an orbit of Minmus. And let's time warp on up here to it. It's about 2 seconds long for the burn. As you can see, I've still got plenty of fuel, so I'm not really worried about fuel at all. Now the one downside to this right now is since I don't have any reaction wheels on board here yet, this thing is agonizingly slow to turn. So hopefully I can get some reaction wheels really fast. But until then, it's just going to be a very slow turn, guys. So I kind of apologize for that one. So we're almost at the burn time now. We're counting down, and let's slow down time to normal. Let's burn full throttle, and that should put us more or less into an orbit. But the way we came into Minmus, we're on almost a polar orbit, and we really don't want to be on a polar orbit. So right up here, I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to try and tilt our orbit a little bit and bring it down again. So tilt some more, bring it down some more, and then I want to land right there in that little flat spot right there where you can see my mouse cursor at and the resource info pop up. Now you also see I got the Kethane mod going. It's telling me there's no data on Kethane. I don't have a Kethane satellite out here yet. That's one of the things I want to do fairly soon though. That way I can start doing deep space refueling missions and get out of the Kerbal system a lot easier and with a lot more fuel to go wherever I want to go with. Now I'm not going to use a mod like Interstellar mod that gives you energy from like radio waves or X-rays. I can't remember what it does exactly, but it does that with your plasma engine. I know Scott Manley uses it a lot, but I'm not going to use that because I think it's kind of cheating to get, fuel that weighs nothing and you can get it anywhere in the system. And I think that's kind of cheating a little bit. So I'm just going to stick to the normal chemical propulsion rockets here. So let's go full throttle. And we're turning our orbit, and we are there, pretty much. So go ahead and kill that. Which way are we orbiting? Let's see here. We're going this way. So let's go ahead and autosave real quick, just in case something goes horribly, horribly wrong. And let's add in a new maneuver, and we are going to come down about right there. Now let's go ahead and see if we can turn this monstrosity around. Like I said, it's agonizingly slow at first. I'm going to go ahead and throw my gears down as well. That's one less thing to worry about here in a few minutes when we attempt the landing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the orange fuel tank to kill the vast majority of our velocity, and then I will switch over to the smaller fuel tanks that are still attached to the lander itself. Now the reason I want to do that is so I can save as much fuel as possible on the lander to make sure that Bill can make it back to Kerbin after we get all of our science done. So we're almost there, and I'm gonna cheat a little bit. And when you time warp, when you're moving your ship around like this, when you're spinning it, it actually freezes your ship, and like that right there. So you can see I just froze my ship and it stopped moving. So we're gonna go ahead and do this burn here in just a second. Let's switch back to the map mode so we can see where we're going. So let's go ahead and do the burn. Start slowing us down a little bit. Slow us down a little bit more. Now I don't want to come down exactly where we're at right there, because like I said, I'm going to use the orange fuel tank to slow our velocity as we come on around. So we're almost there. So let's go ahead and take SAS off and let's reposition on the retrograde here. Oh my lord, this thing is so slow. I need to start putting RCS on these things to turn them. It's slowly turning. And as you can see, the green surface of Minmus is looming. It's ever closer to us. So what we're going to do, where's my goo container? So give me one goo container, observe mystery goo. And the goo feels right at home here. Interesting. Undoubtedly, the goo is from Minmus. So keep the data. So SAS back on, and we will burn in just a second. So we're almost over. So we're going to sit here and let's do retrograde one more time since we're almost there. We got time to spare, so we can wait on this behemoth to slowly turn. Actually, we don't have a lot of time to spare, but whatever. So let's go ahead and turn the engines on. So we're on our retrograde. Turn them all the way on. We're killing our vertical velocity. And we will separate that orange tank here in just a second. And we need to separate now. We're not exactly going to land in the flat green area, but that will work. So let's autosave again, so in case Bill dies, we can bring him back. Go ahead and separate the stages. Go ahead and activate all 5 of my engines. So we are set to rock and roll now. Reorient down here like that. So the orange stage is going to crash into Minmus and explode. There shouldn't be anything left of that one, so there won't be any debris laying on the ground. Man, this is a really slow descent here. So let's see if we can change just a little bit of our landing site. We don't want to go that way with it, most certainly. I don't think we can, guys. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to come to a hover, and then once we get down to the hover, we will actually just manually fly over to that flat green lake of frozen Kethane, I guess. Don't know where the Kethane's at yet, but that makes the most sense to me. So let's go ahead and time warp a little bit. So we're coming on in. There's the orange tank. The orange tank may not explode on impact. I hope it does, because I really don't want to leave a lot of trash behind like we did with the Mun. So we're still sitting at 100% fuel as well. We're coming on in. I'll start the burn here fairly soon. So let's go ahead and we will actually go ahead and start the burn here. And kill some of our velocity. And then also we want to come to more or less a hover as well. So there goes the orange tank further down. So kill that. And then let's pitch over towards the green lake, if I can get that right. There goes the orange tank, see the shadow. And impact, and it explodes. Cool. So let's time travel a little bit here. And we can't go faster than whatever. We're going faster. If I say we go faster, we go faster. So let's see, let's pitch on over here, because this isn't really working. Full throttle. Alright, there we go, no more. So let's go over here and find the retrograde. Man, you can hear Bill screaming in the background. He's yelling at Mission Control. Get your shit together, Mission Control. Oh, hint also, if you want a time warp and you're really low, like I am right now, you can hold Alt and hit the time warp keys, and it will still force the game to time warp a little bit. So you can kind of quickly go through boring parts like this. So let's go ahead and kill velocity again. And now we are falling. So let's time warp. We are at about 2,000 meters, so we should be still good to go. Oh, Bill's getting excited down there. He's smiling and laughing. He's loving it right now. He's going to be the first Kerbal to land on Minmus. This is a big step forward because we just landed on Mun in the last episode. So the Kerbal program is actually getting off its feet very, very rapidly. Pretty soon they'll be building space stations in orbit. Hint, hint. So let's kill velocity again. So now gravity has got us, and it should be pulling us the rest of the way down. We'll time warp a little bit more. So let's go ahead and slow down time again, and let's do our final burn down to the ground. And then Bill will get out, do all the science he can, and then we're taking off and heading to Kerbin. So let's throttle up ever so slightly to slow us down. That way we're not throttling like crazy at the very last minute. So you can see this is an incredibly flat place to land. There's my shadow coming in, so we know we're getting close here. So kill the engines again. But anyways, you can see this is an incredibly flat place to land. I love landing on these lakes on Minmus. When I do my Kethane mining, this is one of my favorite places to land. Even more so if the lake is on the equator. That's like perfect. Because I mean, then you can take off at either 90 or 270 degrees and meet up with a space station that's orbiting at the equator also. So it's actually perfect for the Kethane to appear in that area. And I don't know where it appears on the bodies. I don't know if it's random each time or if it's predefined positions on each body in the Kerbal system. I kind of hope it's random because I don't want to be going to the same place all the time. So we're slowing down, kill the engine, ever so slight throttle, and we have touchdown. Softest landing you could possibly ask for. So let's go ahead and observe Mystery Goo. You observe the goo. Huh. Very vague. Keep the data. Observe the materials bay while we're here. While the material samples were processed, you began to turn your thoughts on how much Minmus looks like a mint dessert, and you have discovered that you are now hungry. We'll keep that data as well. So let's go ahead and do the laser data. Did we get that right this time? We did, but I don't know what's going on with it. It's kind of weird. Some of the crystals forming the smooth surface ignite when blasted by the laser. They burn with an interesting mix of colors. That may be the cathane that's here. So we might be sitting on a cathane deposit. We don't know yet. Keep the data. And then let's do a core sample. Oh, we can only do it on atmospheric planets. That's lame. I didn't know that. Well, now I know that. For the future. That's kind of lame. So log temperature data while we're here. Collect and record temperature data from the environment. 40 science. We shall take that. Let's see. What else? We can go ahead and turn landing lights on too. Are we draining our electricity really fast? We are not draining electricity at all right now. That's good news. Deploy the magnetometer. And then let's log it. The readout is flat, like the frozen surface. Keep the data. And then retract this. And I believe that is all the science we have, minus the crew report. Let's see here. I do believe that is everything, guys and girls. So let's go ahead and do the crew report while we're here. You've recorded your crew's assessment of the situation. We're on Minmus! That's the assessment of the situation. So let's go ahead and grab Bill. Out you go, Bill. Jump off. Whee! Down you go. Walk off the magnetometer. And gently float down to the surface. Congratulations, you are on the surface. EVA report. You feel a bit like a superhero when you jump into low gravity. Keep the data. I'm not going to jump because it does take a long time to come back down to the surface here. So let's go ahead, take a surface sample. While we're at it, the surface seems to consist of tiny crystal-like grains. Very pretty. Probably not edible. Keep the data there. Plant the flag. Good job, Bill. You are a shining example to all of Kerbal-kind. So let's call this the Craken 1 landing site. And say, suck on that Jebediah. If I can spell Dia. I think that's right. I want to say suck on a Jeb. I can't remember how to spell Jebediah. Okay, so we're good to go. So let's hop back on here really quick. Turn RCS on and jump. I said RCS on. So let's gain control of Bill here. This time we won't smash into the ship, I promise. Ah! Man, I need some more practice undoubtedly with this. Grab a hold of that. Reboard the ship. So I think this is all the science we can do. Check one more time before we take off. There's no science there. We did the thermometer. We did those two. There's the parachute. I hope the parachute doesn't, destroy itself. So we're still going on electricity. We're good on everything. So now, let's go ahead and kill the lights. And we are going to take off and head in the... Let's see where Minmus is right now. Minmus is almost back in... Oh, it actually is back in the plane with Kerbin. So we're going to take off at the 90. So where's the 90? Okay, there it is. So go ahead and throttle up. And off we go, leaving behind the landing site. So let's immediately pitch on over, like that. And let's turn SAS on right there, go full throttle. And off we go, ladies and gentlemen. So stop right there. So we're at 14,000 meters up. And where are we? So let's go ahead, we're actually going to go ahead and burn until we escape the gravity of Minmus here. So that's happening very, very quickly. There we go. Wow, we are really inclined here. So autosave, we're good to go. And I want to speed up regardless. Let's go faster. Goodbye, Minmus. You were fun. So here we come on down. Come on. Ah! Well then, we are there. So let's see here. Let's kill our velocity and get us back to Kerbin. Let's find our velocity marker. There he is, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to do it early. I'm not waiting the 14 minutes for the burn because it doesn't really matter at this point. Our whole goal is just to get back to Kerbin. It doesn't matter where we land out on Kerbin. So we're burning. What's our fuel look like? Oh, we are perfect on fuel still. We got plenty of this stuff. So actually I probably had enough fuel on board to actually get me out to probably Duna would be my guess. With just the amount of fuel that we had left on, especially the orange tank. I think the orange tank still had, it was probably still about half full out of both of those tanks. So we still had the equivalent of a full orange tank on board. So we're going to go ahead and time warp on in here. There goes Mun with Jebediah's little flag on there. Where are we going to land at? We are going to land, looks like we're going to be coming down in the nighttime. It doesn't really matter. Let's kind of burn some of this fuel up a little bit. Let's see if we can change our orbit to land in the daytime. So now then, stop the time warp so we can move our ship here. And let's find our blue marker again, and we will just go ahead and burn as soon as we find it. There it is. Stop, 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 stop. Go back. Ah, we're going all around it. And just go ahead and go burning on this, because there's no point to wait. What's our fuel situation looking like? We are still good to go on fuel. Good Lord Almighty. And we are done. So now we are set to land on the daytime. Sweet. Let's go ahead and time warp. Too fast. And we may be coming down in the ocean very close to this mountain range. I don't know yet. So we're driving fairly rapidly in here. So what I'm going to actually do is there's the retrograde marker. So let's do that. So we are flying in here really fast. So what I'm going to do is actually going to separate everything off. And actually going to burn a little bit so that we can separate ourselves from all of that. So there goes all of the landing gear and our spent fuel tanks. We still have we still have a completely full central fuel tank though. So we got plenty of fuel to bring us down. So we'll get the bird's eye view as watching all of that burn up as it goes in. So let's go ahead and actually start burning some fuel here before we get down into the atmosphere. There we are. So let's turn. So there we go. Having kind of problems controlling this thing. We're turning. We're turning. Kill the fuel. Oh, good Lord. Hold on to horses, Bill. We're going crazy. Oh my God. Turn the ship. I can't turn the ship. We're coming through like a missile. Almost got it. Pop the chutes. Slow us down. I can't get us back to the retrograde target. I would have thought that would have been a lot easier since most of the vehicle's mass is in the back part with all of that fuel. We are still coming in like a freaking rock though. And we're getting really close to when these chutes open up completely. There's no way I can rotate the ship around. That's as far as I can get it. Still at 100 meters per second. Oh, good Lord, this is going to be painful right here. So, Bill might... Oh, there we go. It worked. I was really worried about those parachutes ripping off and Bill falling to his death below. Craken won the medium... the debris, it actually survived to reach the ground right there. That's interesting. I didn't expect that. Can we move over there to it? And we cannot switch the vessels. So let's go ahead and we will time warp. And guys, Bill's he's returned to Kerbin, so I'm going to stop the video shortly after we recover the craft so you can see how much science we get. I've been cutting the video short before that point, and you guys are just kind of like taking my word on how much science we're getting. So I'm actually going to show you for a fact how much we get. And, oh, that was a hard landing. The parachute almost came off. And we have returned. Let's go ahead and kill the engine. And go back to the Space Center. Bill's back on Kerbin after landing on Minmus. So now we can reach Minmus and Mun really easily. So that's big steps forward for us. Let's go to the tracking station real fast. And we will get the medium lift rocket. Where is this thing? There it is right there. So that's where we landed at. We're actually a long ways from the coast. I thought the atmosphere would have dragged us into this region. But recover the craft, recover. And as you can see right there, we get 562.5 science from this mission. Actually, a lot of science, and you get quite a bit of science for returning the ship back from the surface of another body. So let's hit done. We'll back up, and we'll go ahead and go buy some stuff as well. That way, when I do the next episode, all you guys will have to worry about watching will be me doing the building of the new ship and going to our next body. So unmanned tech, what do we got going here? Signal sensor, we need that. I'm not too worried about the what is that? Spectrograph net. I don't remember that one. That's a telescope. Okay, never mind. So then we get a lot of the unmanned components too. So we'll get that here in just a second. What is this guy right there? So there's the new solar panels. There's the newer parts right there that we get. I don't really want those just yet. There's the newer landing stuff. There's the cathane drill that we want. So we're going to go ahead and we'll research this so we can get cathane as well. There's the habitat module. Oh, there's docking ports. So now we're going to grab some of these docking ports. What is this thing? The advanced grabbing unit. We'll get that in a minute. So I'll go ahead and get that. So we're going to build a space station next time around. So what are these? Stack connectors, winches. There we go. Stack separators. Now I'm on all of these as well very soon. What else to get here, guys? We don't want the grabbing unit just yet because I'm not worried about the asteroids. Available parts. No. Unmanned tech. We'll start doing unmanned tech here soon. Let's go ahead and unlock what we need for the space station here. So what we got after this? Let's look here after all of this. Clampetron, the senior docking port, and that's the big docking port. And I really do want that. That's a lot of science to get that stuff. Advanced Metalworks, I don't really care about that stuff right now. And then there's this one right here. I don't really care about that one either with heavy aerodynamics. So we have 98 science left, which is not... Oh, we can actually get something back here. So what do we want to get? I don't care about airplanes at the moment. The Delta Deluxe Winglet. Well, I don't really care about that. The micro landing struts, don't care about that. So let's go ahead and... I don't know what to get here, guys. And we'll save our science for next time. So anyways, guys, so that's what we got so far. Next time we're going to start building our space station. And we'll probably put this thing in orbit over Minmus, because that's usually my favorite place to put space stations. Because they're far enough away from Kerbin that after you leave the station, it's easy to leave Kerbin's spheres of influence. And it's a lot easier to get cathane off the surface of Minmus than it is off of the surface of Mun. So with all that, guys, thank you for watching. And this is Splooge McDuck signing out and saying good luck and safe travels.